Every movie you watch tells a story. Yes, that's right, storytelling is the heart of every film. Just imagine, you're huddled up under your blanket, a bowl of popcorn at your side, eyes wide and glued to the screen as you're swept away into a world of adventure, romance, danger, or mystery. That is the magic of storytelling. It's the power to transport you from your living room couch to a far-off galaxy, a magical kingdom, or even the deepest depths of the ocean without leaving your home. Storytelling is a secret that filmmakers use. It sparks your imagination, it stirs your emotions, and it makes you care about characters who exist only in the realm of fiction. It's the reason you cheer when the hero triumphs, the reason you gasp when the villain reveals their wicked plan, and the reason you shed a tear when the lovers finally unite. But here's a secret. Stories, as varied and as diverse as they may seem, aren't just random. They're woven together using certain patterns, like different threads in a tapestry. These patterns are what we call plot types, and just like a chef uses recipes to create delicious meals, filmmakers use these plot types to craft their tantalizing tales. These plot types are like the backbone of a story, giving it structure and shape. They guide the journey of our heroes and heroines, leading them through adventures, challenges, and sometimes even leading them through massive transformations. And while the settings, characters, and themes may be quite different, these plot types remain consistent, like a familiar melody in a symphony of stories. So, are you ready to explore all of these magical plot types? Are you eager to discover what makes a comedy tick or what sets a tragedy in motion? Are you curious about how a hero overcomes the monster or how a pauper becomes a prince? Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey through the fascinating world of storytelling. We're going to uncover the 7 magical plot types in films, each one a unique recipe for captivating your imagination and stirring your emotions. Let's go on a journey to uncover the 7 magical plot types in films. First up, we have overcome the monster. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? This plot style is just as thrilling as it sounds. It's all about a hero, someone just like you or me, who has to face a big, scary problem. We are not talking about a math problem or cleaning your room kind of problem, but a monster. The monster could be a real, fire-breathing beast. More often, it's a symbol for something wicked and mean. Think about Harry Potter, our bespectacled hero. He's just a regular kid, right? But he has a huge problem to solve. He needs to deal with this really nasty wizard named Voldemort, who's causing all sorts of trouble. Harry, despite being so young, has to stand up to him. That's his monster, his big, scary problem. Many Marvel superhero films use this plot style in these overcome the monster stories. However, our hero usually doesn't start out as a superhero. They are not always super strong. They can't fly, and they definitely don't have a fancy costume. But what they do have is courage, lots of it. They're brave, even when things seem impossible. And guess what? They don't do it all alone. They have friends, mentors, and sometimes even magic to help them out. How do they defeat the monster? Well, it's not always about who has the biggest wand or the sharpest sword. It is often about being clever, being kind, and believing in yourself. It can be about facing your fears, standing up for what's right, and never giving up, even when things get really tough. In the end, the monster is defeated, not always by force, but by the hero's bravery, smart thinking, and a big heart. The hero, who started out as a regular person, becomes a true hero, admired and celebrated by everyone. In films using the overcome the monster plot, our hero triumphs against all odds. It is a story of courage and resilience, a reminder that no matter how big the problem, with bravery and determination, we can overcome anything. Next, we sail into Voyage and Return. This plot type is a thrilling adventure, a roller coaster ride, if you will, where our hero boldly steps into an unknown world and comes back home, but not without having changed in some profound way. Imagine you're in your cozy, familiar home 1 minute, and the next, you're whisked away into a world that's strange, sometimes scary, but always exciting. This world is filled with challenges and trials that test our hero's courage, wit, and resilience. It's also important to remember that the rules in this strange land are different from where the protagonist comes from. Let's consider the classic tale of The Wizard of Oz. Remember Dorothy? She's swept away from her farm in Kansas by a tornado and lands in the vibrant Technicolor world of Oz. It's a place where scarecrows talk, lions lack courage, and tin men yearn for hearts. No, not something you see every day. In the strange world, Dorothy makes new friends, has to fight with the wicked witch, and goes on a quest to meet the wizard who she believes can help her return home. Through her journey, Dorothy learns that she doesn't need to look externally for strength and wisdom. She had them within herself all along. When she finally clicks her ruby slippers and chants, "There's no place like home," she returns to Kansas, not as the same little girl, but as someone wiser, stronger, and braver, changed by her voyage. A common trait in a Voyage and Return plot isn't just about physical journeys, but also about inner voyages of self-discovery. It's about venturing into the unknown, facing challenges, learning valuable lessons, and returning home transformed. It can be Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, Alice tumbling down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland, or even Bilbo Baggins setting off on an unexpected journey in The Hobbit. They all share the common thread of voyage and return. Voyage and Return is a journey of self-discovery and transformation. Now let's take a look at Quest. This plot style is all about adventure and bravery. Our hero embarks on a thrilling journey to obtain a valuable object or achieve a significant goal. Think of it as a treasure hunt, but the treasure could be anything: an ancient artifact, a secret knowledge, or even a person. Let's take a quick journey into the world of one of the greatest quests ever told, The Lord of the Rings. Here, our hero, Frodo, is given a mission to destroy a powerful ring that could spell disaster for the whole world. It's not a walk in the park, though. Frodo and his friends have to travel far and wide, face numerous dangers, and overcome countless obstacles. And it's not just about the physical journey. It's also about the journey within, as Frodo learns about courage, friendship, and sacrifice. In a quest plot, the goal is always clearly defined from the beginning. The hero usually has a team of at least 2 members. One member, visually the mentor. The hero knows what they need to do, and they set out to do it. The journey is filled with challenges that test the hero's strength, wit, and character. These challenges often come in the form of puzzles to solve, enemies to defeat, or trials to endure. There is also the temptation to stop before the end goal is met. Don't confuse this with giving up, though. This is similar to Voyage and Return in some ways. But a key here is hero, is not alone. They usually have companions who help them along the way, providing support, advice, and sometimes comic relief. Quest plot is not just about the destination, but also about the journey. It's about how the hero grows and evolves through their experiences. By the end of the quest, the hero is not the same person they were at the beginning. They have learned valuable lessons, made new friends, and perhaps even saved the world. A good quest film can take us to fantastical worlds, introduce us to amazing characters, and keep us on the edge of our seats with suspense and excitement. But most importantly, they teach us about the power of determination, courage, and the human spirit. So in Quest, our hero's determination and courage lead them to their goal, Moving on, we have Rags to Riches. Any guesses what this might be about? Well, if you imagined a story where the hero starts from scratch, the lowest position, almost nothing, and then becomes incredibly successful, you would be right. The Rags to Riches plot is all about transformation and success. It's like watching a tiny seed grow into a magnificent tree. Imagine this. Our hero is just an ordinary person. They might even be poor or disadvantaged in some way. Life might seem tough and full of challenges, but don't worry. This is just the beginning of their story, not the end. As the story unfolds, our hero starts to change. They begin to show us what they're really made of. They might discover hidden talents or skills, or maybe they just work really hard. They don't let their circumstances define them. Instead, they use their challenges as stepping stones to reach higher. Let's look at Charlie Bucket from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory as an example. Charlie lives in a tiny house with his mother and grandparents, and they struggle to make ends meet. But when Charlie finds a golden ticket in a chocolate bar, his life changes forever. He goes from being a poor boy to the owner of the most fantastic chocolate factory in the world. Talk about a transformation. But it's not just about the material wealth or success. It is also about the journey, the growth, and the change. It's about the hero becoming the best version of themselves. And most importantly, it's about hope, that no matter where we start, we can always aim for the stars. Another key element is that the hero will lose or appear to lose everything at some point just before the climax in the common all is lost moment. Then they will regain that high position. How about Cinderella? She went from being a mistreated stepdaughter to a princess. Or how about Aladdin? He was a street rat, a homeless youth who became a prince. These stories show us that anything is possible if we believe in ourselves and never give up. So, the next time you watch a movie or read a book, see for if you can if he can spot the rags to riches plot. Look for the hero, who starts with nothing and ends up with everything they ever dreamed of. In Rags to Riches, dreams do come true. Guess what's next? It's comedy. Now, not to be confused with the genre of comedy though. The plot style known as comedy is a way of structuring stories that can lead to amusement and laughter. But it's important to understand that it's more complex than just making people laugh. Comedy as a plot style is not limited to the comedy genre alone. It can be found across various genres, including drama, romance, and even action. This plot style often uses humor to explore serious themes, making it an effective tool for storytelling. Here are key features that define the comedy plot style. Humor. The most obvious feature is the use of humor. This can come from witty dialogue, amusing situations, or characters' actions that defy expectations in a humorous way. Conflict and resolution. Like many stories, comedies often revolve around a central conflict. However, in comedies, the resolution typically involves a humorous twist or a realization that brings about laughter or satisfaction. Exaggeration. Many comedies rely on exaggeration, making something seem larger, better, worse, or more important than it actually is, to highlight the absurdity of situations or characters, leading to humor. Misunderstandings. A common device used in comedies is misunderstanding or mistaken identity. These situations can lead to comedic outcomes as characters try to untangle the truth. Relatable characters. Characters in comedies often find themselves in exaggerated versions of everyday situations, making their struggles and triumphs relatable to the audience on a humorous level. Playfulness. Comedies often have a playful tone, inviting the audience to not take things too seriously and to enjoy the lighter side of life. It's important to note that while comedies aim to entertain, they also often carry deeper meanings or critiques of society, relationships, or human nature. They use humor as a lens to examine serious issues in a way that is accessible and engaging. So, comedy is all about discussing what might even be a serious topic in a light, fun way. De personen fort die besidien. Now we turn to a more serious plot type, tragedy. Our journey through plot types takes a somber turn as we delve into the realm of tragedy. In a tragedy plot, our hero doesn't always win the day. Instead, they suffer a downfall, often because of their own flaws or mistakes. It's a plot that explores the darker side of life and reminds us that not all stories have a happy ending. Think about a story where the hero, despite their best efforts, falls into despair or even meets an untimely end. It sounds a bit sad. However, remember, every plot type has its own unique charm, and tragedy is no exception. A tragedy plot holds a mirror to life's harsh realities and teaches us valuable lessons about the human condition. Let's take an example from one of the most famous tragedies of all time, Romeo and Juliet, written by the master of tragedies, William Shakespeare. In this story, two young lovers, Romeo and Juliet, are torn apart by their feuding families. Despite their deep love for each other, their story ends in a heartbreaking tragedy. Their flaws, their impatience, and their impulsive decisions lead them to a tragic end. The story is a strong reminder of how hate can destroy love, and how not understanding love can destroy your life. Another example of a tragedy plot can be seen in the movie Titanic. Remember Jack and Rose? Their love blooms aboard the ill-fated ship. But their story doesn't have a happy ending. Jack's tragic end leaves us with teary eyes, but also teaches us about selfless love and sacrifice. So the key elements of a tragedy plot are a hero who suffers a downfall often due to their own flaws or mistakes, and a story that explores the darker side of life. It's a plot type that may not leave us with a smile, but it certainly leaves us with a deeper understanding of life and its complexities. Tragedy shows us the darker side of life, doesn't it? Of på'n. Finally, we have Rebirth. It's a wonderful plot style that's all about transformation, becoming a better version of ourselves. It's like shedding an old skin and emerging as a vibrant new person. Think of the protagonist here as a caterpillar in its cocoon, unaware of the beautiful butterfly it's about to become. That's the essence of a rebirth story. Our hero starts off in a cocoon of their own, wrapped up in their flaws, weaknesses, and wrongdoings. But then something happens, a spark, a moment, a realization that ignites a change. Now let's think of a familiar face who goes through this transformation. Yes, it's the grumpy, green holiday hater, the Grinch from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Grinch, as many of you know, starts off hating everything about Christmas. He's grumpy, he's mean, and he's determined to ruin Christmas for everyone else in Whoville. But then something magical happens. The Grinch's heart, which was 2 sizes too small, grows 3 sizes that day. He realizes the true meaning of Christmas and transforms from a mean green Grinch into a kind, loving creature who learns to appreciate the joy and love that Christmas brings. That's the beauty of the Rebirth plot. It's not just about the physical transformation, but also the emotional and psychological one. The hero doesn't just change their actions. They change their mindset, outlook, and perspective. They learn, grow, and evolve. And in doing so, they inspire us, the audience, to believe in the power of change, redemption, and love. Rebirth teaches us that no one is beyond redemption, and that it's never too late to change, grow, and become a better person. It's a plot style that speaks to our hearts, tugs at our emotions, and leaves us with a feeling of hope and optimism. In Rebirth, our hero discovers a new, better self. So there you have it. We've embarked on a magical journey through the 7 major plot types in film. We've seen brave heroes overcoming the monster, just like Harry Potter did with Voldemort. We've voyaged and returned, exploring new worlds and coming back changed, like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, embarked on quests seeking something special, just as Frodo did in Lord of the Rings. Witnessed the rags to riches transformation, like Aladdin's journey from street rat to prince. Laughed along with the comedy, like the hilarious antics in Legally Blonde. Felt the heartache of tragedy, like the star-crossed love of Jack and Rose in Titanic. And we've experienced the beauty of rebirth, like the Grinch. Each of these plot types adds a unique spark to storytelling. Remember, every film tells a story, and now you know the magic behind these stories.